Hey guys, welcome back to RecapCon. Today, I will tell you about a science fiction anime called The Revisions. The story begins with a boy named Daisuke. When he wakes up, he starts working out, determined to get stronger. He leaves for school and sees his friend Lu getting hit by a guy on a bicycle. Daisuke runs after the guy and starts fighting him, but Lu stops him and apologizes to the man. She tells Daisuke that he is overprotective and his actions are annoying. There is a flashback to when Daisuke was young. He was saved by his friends and a mysterious woman named Milo. She tells him that one day, it will be up to him to protect everyone, and Daisuke proudly accepts this as his destiny. At the school counselor asks Daisuke about his career plan. Daisuke says that he's not sure about the future and can only think about the day he will protect his friends. In class, we meet Daisuke's friend Mari. Her friends think Daisuke is weird because he is always going overboard, like tackling a guy that was just trying to ask Mari for directions. After school, Daisuke gets confronted by Guy, Lu's brother, about the incident from the morning. Daisuke says he was just protecting Lu, but Guy tells him he needs to let go of his delusions of being a hero. Daisuke walks home with his friend Keigo, and he says that Guy just doesn't understand him. But Keigo says they are all just worried about him because he has been taking things too far. Daisuke thinks back to the incident 7 years ago when he got kidnapped and the cops are searching for him. All his friends are worried, but they receive a call where Daisuke tells them that they have to come to him or else he will be killed. As his friends think about what they will do, there is a knock at the door and they meet Milo, who says she will help save Daisuke. They manage to rescue Daisuke, and Milo tells them all not to tell the cops about her. Milo tells Daisuke that the 5 of them will someday find themselves in danger, and when the day comes, only he will be able to protect them. Daisuke wakes up as a notification pops up on his phone. Everyone receives a message saying that tomorrow will be the day when everything will happen. The next day, Daisuke's friends start arguing with him, assuming that Daisuke was the one who sent the message to everyone. Suddenly they feel a jerk, and the whole city is affected by an outage. Everyone comes out of the class and finds that part of the building is missing and they have been transported. Everyone starts wondering what is happening and looking around. Daisuke reaches the roof with Mari, and a siren begins to ring. A monstrous creature suddenly appears and starts attacking the students. Some of the students are captured, and everyone panics. They all make a run for it, and the teacher closes the door before Daisuke and Mari can make it. More students are killed, and Mari gets cornered by the monster. Daisuke is only able to watch helplessly, thinking Mari is going to die. Suddenly, Milo appears, shooting at the creature. She engages the monster and manages to knock it out. Daisuke runs towards her, shocked at her arrival, but she doesn't remember him. Daisuke asks to use her weapon to finish the creature, reminding her how she said he would one day be the one to protect his friends. Although Milo doesn't remember any of them, if she said that to him in the past, then she has a special weapon for him to use. She grabs him, and they swing to the ground. She brings him to a mecha suit that she calls the string puppet, and tells him to get in. Daisuke is compatible with it and begins to sync up to the machine. Milo reveals that the creatures are known as revisions, and tells Daisuke to prepare, as the creature is waking up. Daisuke gets accustomed to piloting the string puppet. The monster wakes up and tries to enter the school building. It grabs the teacher and captures her in its pod. Daisuke comes behind it, thinking this is his moment to save his friends and put his preparation to the test. The monster runs toward Daisuke, and he manages to shoot some shots and dodge it while learning the functions of the suit. Daisuke complains about the string puppet being too clunky, and Milo guides him, telling him that the suit has enough power to defeat the monster. Milo tells him to aim at the monster's joints or use his sword. Daisuke pulls out the sword to attack the monster, but the monster kicks him and he falls to the ground. Daisuke gets under the monster, locking onto its joint, and manages to damage it using his guided shots. The policewoman, Izumi, arrives at the scene, trying to calm everyone down. Suddenly the monster jumps in front of her, but Daisuke jumps on the monster and stabs it with his sword. The mayor of the city, Muda, calls an emergency meeting as the infrastructure is down and nothing is working. Muda orders the Disaster Prevention Committee to assemble and take all the help possible from the police and the army. Daisuke continues fighting the monster and notices the people trapped inside its pod, known as the biocage. Milo tells him to ignore the people in the cage, but Daisuke refuses and tries to save them. The monster grabs hold of Daisuke, and Milo tells him to focus on the enemy and aim for the monster's leg. But Daisuke doesn't want to risk shooting the cage, and the monster starts crushing him. Milo shoots the monster's hand and Daisuke gets free. Milo tells him to destroy the connecting points of the monster to save the people. Daisuke pulls his sword and destroys the 2 points, releasing the biocage. Daisuke then shoots the monster's eye and destroys the monster. The captives escape from the cage, and Daisuke celebrates his victory. Daisuke excitedly tells everything to his friends, but his friends get annoyed that he is so happy about the disaster. Milo then tells them that she wasn't the one who saved Daisuke in the past, and this is the first time she met all of them. The police arrest Daisuke and Milo and bring them to the newly established provisional government. While everyone descends into chaos and panic, Milo explains they were transported to the future to the year 2388, and that she is an agent of an organization called ARV, and the monsters are from a different organization called the Revisions. Some of the officers refuse to accept her explanation, and the voices of the citizens become restless. Milo then tells them that ARV is executing a plan to return them back to its original time, and she was sent to protect the city. Daisuke is brought in, and Milo explains that, like his string puppet, she has 2 more of them that Daisuke's friends would be able to use. Knowing that their help is required, Officer Kazara establishes the Shibuya Defense Force and appoints Daisuke as the leader. Daisuke's friends worry if they are fit to defend the city. Milo reports that there are no enemies detected, so they should retrieve the other 2 string puppets. As they travel, they see that it's a complete wasteland and wonder what happened to the world. Milo explains 350 years ago, there was a pandemic that wiped out most humans. Milo goes on ahead to scout and tells Izumi and the others to head to the designated location. Milo tells Daisuke to provide cover for everyone and sends him off to the side. But Daisuke refuses to go because it's too far from his friends and starts ranting about his destiny to protect everyone, but his friends manage to convince him to go. When Daisuke arrives at the location, he tells Milo that everything is normal. Daisuke has gotten the hang of using the suit, and Milo tells them that the suits were created specifically for them. Everyone is confused about how Milo would know that they would be transported into the future. Milo explains that she can jump through time, but can't just jump anywhere or at any time. ARV agents jump to the past and leave useful information, and ARV retrieves and analyzes that information to predict the future. Izumi arrives at their destination and Milo tells her to locate the puppets which are on the 2nd floor of the building. Izumi enters the building to find the puppets while the others wait outside. Meanwhile, Daisuke detects a civilian 3 kilometers away and decides to go and save them. Milo reaches the scouting point and sees a monster resting. She thinks it could be a trap and calls Daisuke to inform him, but Daisuke has already fallen for the trap and ends up being in combat with the enemy. The monster at Milo's place activates and starts chasing her. A monster also arrives at Izumi's location. She tells everyone to go inside the building and retrieve the puppet while she is handling the monster. She hears on the radio that a monster is also attacking the city, and we see the cops struggling to fight it. Milo reaches Daisuke, and the 2 monsters end up colliding with each other. Daisuke takes the chance and destroys them both with his sword. Meanwhile, Izumi gets stuck as the monster approaches her, but suddenly, Guy and Lu come out with the suits and start fighting the monster. Milo and Daisuke arrive, and Milo guides them against the monster. Guy and Lu easily finish it off, and Daisuke is amazed to see how well they pilot the puppet. Back in the city, Kazara informs Muda that the Revisions are here and they want to meet the person in charge. Muda is afraid and hesitates to meet the Revisions, but it turns out to be a young woman, dressed in a strange outfit. The woman meets with Muda and tells him that she took on a familiar form so they can communicate. She tells him that the Revisions want to change the past to save their future. She hands Muda a list of people they intend to send back to the past, and Muda sees himself on the list. In the next scene, we see Muda as he announces cooperation with the Revisions to return to their time. Milo and the others are shocked, and Milo warns him that the Revisions will just use them, and everyone should believe in ARV. Muda interrupts her and says that she is also a person from the future, and the people of his time will be making their own decisions. Muda also says that as part of the deal they will hand over the string puppets to the Revisions. After that, everyone will be sent back according to the groups that they are assigned. As everyone reads the list, Daisuke angrily tells everyone not to trust the Revisions and promises to save everyone, but they all ignore him and tell him off. Daisuke is annoyed and steps on an object and ends up kicking in frustration. But it starts to speak, and introduces itself as Nico, a member of the Revisions, and explains that this is just his remote communication body. He tells Daisuke that they brought everyone to the future to save mankind. Daisuke grabs him angrily and tells him that he only believes Milo. But Nico tells him that Milo is actually the enemy and ends up popping like a balloon. Kizara and Izumi investigate Milo. They want to believe her, and she tells them that the city is in a strange state where it is both in the future as well as the present. They discuss attacking the Revisions to return to their time, but Muda suddenly interrupts them and makes Milo a hostage. The groups start getting sent back the following day, and Keigo wonders if going back is the right choice, but his mother insists he go back with her. On the other hand, Daisuke's father is leaving, but Daisuke is determined to stay behind and fight. Meanwhile, we meet the Revisions, Mukyu, and Chiharu. We learn that they are trying to gather materials from the past to reincarnate into real bodies. Daisuke sneaks around to find the puppets, but is joined by his friends. They think the Revisions are suspicious, thinking that they are collecting humans. Kizara appears and confirms their theory, saying that the groups being sent back were specified by the Revisions. Kizara prepares a plan to save the returnees. He orders Daisuke and Lu to work on retrieving the string puppets with the help of Izumi, while Keigo and Mari will be going as his backup. Izumi suddenly bursts in and tells them that Milo is being handed over to the Revisions. Daisuke is determined to save Milo, so Mari gets called to take his spot on the mission. The next day, the first group of returnees is on their way to the Revisions. Izumi distracts the guards while the others make it to the truck where the string puppets are held. Daisuke sneaks around, looking for Milo, but ends up overhearing her call where she says half the people would be sacrificed. Daisuke is confused, but Milo tells him to trust her. Muda reaches the Revisions to hand over the string puppets and returnees. Chiharu sends a monster to check the puppets, but as the monster approaches, the group shoots the monster and bursts out of the truck. Kizara arrives and arrests Muda for assisting the enemy. The trio continues to fight against the monsters, and Mari struggles because it's her first time. Milo and Daisuke arrive just in time, and Daisuke takes over the string puppet from Mari. The monsters grab the returnees, but Daisuke saves them, and goes on to destroy another with his sword. The monsters retreat, as the Revisions watch from their base. Everyone returns to the city, and the city's power is restored, thanks to using the string puppet's power source. Everyone cheers for them, and they are seen as heroes. But that's where this video ends. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.